We are live. I've got Jeff all the way from the US of A. So, Superman, I've got a song for him before we start. Tommy used to work on the docks. Union's been on strike. He's down on his luckiest time. I'm just checking. Am I using the right mic? I bet I'm not, am I?
I'm hearing you.
Bit of a rush this morning. I'm not. There we go. There, let's do that.
Oh, that's better.
Is that better?
Yes.
It's tough. So tough. We gotta hold on to what we've got. Doesn't make a difference if we make it or not. We've got each other, and that's a lot for love. We'll give it a shot. Whoa, we're halfway there. Whoa, living on a prayer. Take my hand, we'll make it, I swear. Whoa, living on a prayer. And that's all we're doing of the song today, because the show's about you, Jeff. You've got up super, super early. So my very first question is always, why did you choose that song?
I've always been a Bon Jovi fan, and that's one of my favorites from that era. I'm also kind of old, so that's that's kind of my oldie but goodie go-to.
kind of old, isn't that just a number, Jeff?
Well, it's a number, but it's getting closer to my IQ.
So tell me, a little bit about yourself. What time is it where you are? Because I do not get many people across the pond joining us. But having said that, we've also got Debbie.
Yeah, I see Debbie. Hi, Debbie.
So Florida, and you're in Ohio, aren't you?
I am. I'm in Columbus, Ohio. That's Eastern time zone here. So you guys have just fallen back. So it's only 4 hours difference now. So it's 12:30 your time, 12:30 p.m. your time, 8:30 a.m. my time. But it's still, even though it's 8:30 a.m., it's still not sunrise here yet. So we don't fall back till next week. So it's a little early, but not bad. I've been up for 2 hours already, easily. So
good man. And so before we came on air, you were telling me that you've been retired for a little while. So how long have you been retired for, Jeff?
I've been retired for 16 years.
Oh my goodness! And so hang on. So you've been retired for 16 years. What did you do before you retired?
For quite a few years, about 35 years, I was a project manager. I was also a management consultant. I used to work for this itty bitty little firm called Ernst & Young.
I think I might have heard of them.
Yeah, you might have heard of them. Exactly. Well, and I actually used to introduce myself by saying, "Hi, I'm Jeff Young from Ernst & Young." No relation. But it does get me a good hotel room every once in a while.
Yes. Oh, we've got a big function. We've got Ernst & Young coming, and Jeff's staying. We better give him the presidential suite.
Good morning, Mr. Young from Ernst & Young. Yeah.
Nice. So absolutely no relationship at all.
No, not at all. Actually, the original Arthur Young was actually Scottish and settled in Chicago and started an accounting firm up there. And then, and the Big Eight became the Big Six, became the Final Four, et cetera. But I spent 16 years with Ernst & Young. In 3 of those years, I was in the top 10% of American Airlines flyers. So, boy, are my arms tired. It's a very bad joke, but yeah, but it was a travel kind of thing with being a management consultant. So it was fun though. It was I got to sleep in different beds, at least in 100 different cities in the United States.
Wow. So does that mean you've done every single state in the US?
Nope. I did keep track of that. I'm the kind of guy that is a list maker, and so I did keep track of that. I've slept in every single state except for 4.
Which 4 are they?
Idaho, or Oregon, Alaska, and Wyoming.
Right. Okay. So are you gonna? Is that you're gonna take that off your bucket list?
One of these days. Yep. I mean, there'll be a trip, in my future sometime, and there may be an Aleutian Island birding trip. I'm also a bird watcher, so
okay.
So that has helped me get into many different states as well. But yeah, it's still on the bucket list.
No, fantastic. Because the thing is, as a Brit, We do not get the vastness of the US of A. We just cannot comprehend it. And so the very first trip that I had to America, I was staying in Scottsdale in Arizona. In Phoenix in Arizona. And on the map, Texas is quite close. And so I was chatting to some Texans, and I go, "Oh, how long did it take you to drive?" And they looked at me as if I had three heads. And drive? Are you mad?
Yeah.
And that's the thing, isn't it, with the States? And so I think that I have been to more states than the average American, and I think I've done 6 or 8 states. Is that right?
Well, I don't know. Most of the people I know have been in at least a dozen different states for vacationing and those kind of things. Depends on a lot of East Coast, West Coast kind of things where they'll go to the West Coast or they'll go to Florida for a vacation. Or every year, for example, I head out to a state up northwest of us called Wisconsin, and so for vacation. So we're pretty mobile, but a lot of it's flying kind of mobile. And you're right. Sure. I mean, I've been in Texas. I used to work in Texas, really near Dallas, Fort Worth, and you could drive for a day and drive for another day and still be in Texas.
Wow. Wow. That is crazy. Right. You drive for 2 days in the UK, you're going to end up in water. Absolutely. So we've got someone here from Michigan, but unfortunately your name's not coming up. So if you want to just say hi again and put your name in, then that would be cool. As a Brit in the US for the last 11 years, vastness is still awe-inspiring. So yeah, that is the thing. It's just a huge country. So Jeff, I always start off with a few standard questions, but as a retiree, do you work, or are you just on LinkedIn for a laugh? How does all of that work?
If anybody who's looked at my profile will see that I volunteer. My network calls me the LinkedIn guru. Okay. If you look up guru in the dictionary, you see the word teacher, which is me, because I've been teaching LinkedIn now for free. I do free seminars for 16 years. So I also sometimes introduce myself by saying, "Hi, I'm a teacher." Okay. And what's your superpower? that might be a first. Has anybody ever disrobed on your show before?
No, they have not. They have not.
I kept it to the minimum.
Yeah. So in the UK, pants are what you wear under your trousers, and your pants are what we call trousers. So do you have your pants outside your pants? So Superman, he wears his red underwear outside his pants, doesn't he? So you're not doing that today. I don't want to see anyway.
No, that's okay. I won't. No, well, and I'm in branded blue here, okay, as I always am. But no, my uniform of the day is almost always blue jeans. Okay?
Cool. So, yeah. Talking of blue. John Asperian, great to see Jeff on the show. One of all-time legends of LinkedIn and super nice guy. It takes one to know one, John.
It does.
It takes one to know one. So, how many hours do you reckon you do all of this training then? Because I don't know if you know, but when you retire, you don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
You can just play golf.
Yeah. Folks. One of the nicest compliments anybody could ever pay me, actually, is, "Jeff, you are one of the busiest retired guys I ever saw." Okay, because I said, "Yeah, I'm retired, not dead." Okay, and literally, retirement gave me the opportunity to do whatever I wanted to do. Yes, okay, but whatever I wanted to do was not golf or go fishing or blah blah blah. Okay, it was continuing on to do what I love to do, which is teach. And I found LinkedIn in that fashion. So it was an easy thing for me, that because I hadn't really used LinkedIn very much by the time I retired in 2008, I decided that in order for me to learn how to use LinkedIn, I'd start teaching it to other people. And 2 seminars a month became 4 seminars a month, became 6 seminars a month. There was actually one month that I actually did 9 different seminars. Yeah. And I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, Jeff, you said you were retired. 9's too many. Okay. So I've tailed it back to about 5 or 6 every month. But in the 16 years I've been teaching LinkedIn, I've done about 950 to 1,000 seminars. That is included about 18,000 to 20,000 students, different students over the years. And that doesn't even count all the people that I've done lives with, and I've done other kinds of things with, and it doesn't even have anything to do with the ripple effect of people that I would have been able to touch because I would have taught somebody something, who would have taught somebody else something, who would have, et cetera. So I love it. I mean, it's great because it's been a perfect environment for me to continue to network. That was really what I wanted to do, is continue to network. And if it hadn't been for COVID, I might not have had nearly as many peeps, networking friends across the pond. But there are just a huge number of people across the pond that I know now that COVID kind of had that silver lining for me. It kind of took me global. It was amazing.
I've just done 2 training sessions for a company, all on Zoom, and basically what it was more an introduction to LinkedIn. And so this company, some people are doing LinkedIn, other people haven't even turned it on. And so one of the slides was just trying to find it now. Why we should do LinkedIn: make connections, become known, improve hiring, attract clients. You see those balloons there? Where do they come from?
That's a feature that's like, it's recognizing hand gestures, I think.
Yeah,
there it is. Yeah.
You can't do anything now,
it's
can you?
It's a setting that you can turn on.
So that's what we said. But the last slide was have fun. And that's what you're doing, Jeff Young.
Absolutely. If I wasn't having fun, I wouldn't be doing it. And part of the fun for me, though, is, again, part of the fun is teaching. Because it took me many years. I mean, I was halfway through my career with Ernst & Young before I finally realized what I really wanted to be when I grew up, and that was a teacher. That really was. I mean, I got lucky and got farmed out to the organizational development arm of the firm to do a project management course and started teaching project management. And I had so much fun doing that I went back to those folks. And I said, you know what? I've been a consultant for quite a while. How would you guys like to have a consultant who has 9 years worth of street credibility, okay, come help you teach consultants about how to be consultants? And they said, well, let us think about it. Okay. It took them like half a second to say yes. And from that point on, then I was having a whole lot of fun being a teacher and teaching consultants about how to be a consultant within Ernst & Young. At one point in time, I was responsible for all the onboarding training that was done for the consulting practice. And it was fun. It was just a huge amount of fun. And then LinkedIn is a continuation of that. It's just the same kind of, the phrase is, I think, the same church, different pew.
Yep.
Okay. Because of the fact that I've really just started training LinkedIn, and being able to train LinkedIn, it's amazing to me that there's so many people who do need it. And the way it first started out,
really?
yeah, really. Okay. Because 95% of the people that I encounter on LinkedIn that I train haven't even scratched the surface of what you can do for free, much less paying for it. So one of the questions I answer is, should you pay for it? And my answer is usually not. But that's up to you. There are certain reasons to pay for LinkedIn. But anyway, I won't make this about LinkedIn. I'm just making it about the training aspect of LinkedIn. And so, the aspect of being able to train on LinkedIn is great, because so often I get paid in this phrase. Oh, I didn't know it could do that. I'll literally, when it's, we look at my profile, it's like coffee, conversation, and occasionally chocolate is the way I get paid. And I like it that way, and I want to keep it that way for as long as I can. It's just phenomenal fun for me to do that. And sometimes, as John, just did a little bit earlier, I get paid in a C then as well, the compliment that he paid me. Okay.
Yeah, no, I think that's absolutely lovely. And I love that line you just said, when I grow up, because I'm the same. I am the same. When I was at school, I wanted to be a Radio 1 DJ. So that was the biggest music channel in my day. And there was a guy called Dave Lee Travis, and he used to go under the pseudonym The Hairy Cornflake. And he used to do the breakfast show, and just so inspired. And I wanted to be a radio DJ. And you know, back then, careers teachers didn't know things like that. They know how to get you in the local hotel or to work in the local office or something. But to be a Radio 1 DJ, when I lived in the sticks, it was sort of like, no, do something more real. And so I ended up going into catering, and then I went into sales. And all my life, I sort of like, I'm not sure what I'm going to do when I grow up. And now I found teaching. I totally get where you're coming from. Isn't it just amazing seeing somebody come in, not really knowing what they're doing, and at the end of the day they can go, oh my goodness, I can do this and I can do that, and then you see them weeks, months later, and they're absolutely flying, and it's all because of what you've done. Isn't that just an honor to be in that position, Jeff?
It is an honor to be in that position. I love it when I see the light bulb go on above someone's head. I love it when I get the phrase, you know, I didn't know I could do that. I just love helping people figure out how they want to use LinkedIn. And you know, here's another phrase that I'll give you from a teaching perspective. I think this is one of the most telling things as far as being a teacher is concerned, because I believe that the best teachers show you where to look, but they don't tell you what to see. Okay. And by that phrase, I mean, look, it is different for each person. I will show you what I've done. If that matches you, go for it. But then I'll also give you the tools to figure out what you want to do with LinkedIn. And every single person can have a different use for LinkedIn as they go through the process. I mean, look, a lot of people, you know, this is interesting. My doing this for 16 years for free, I think is a sign that I'm doing it right. Because if people were getting what they paid for it, they'd never be back, would they? So, but there are people out there who have that not an attitude of abundance, not an attitude of gratitude. There are people who have actually come up to me and asked me, Jeff, don't you think you're taking food out of the mouths of the people that charge for LinkedIn? And I'm going, well, not according to the people that I know that do charge for LinkedIn, because they tell me that it's great that I do what I do, and they pay me in chocolate all the time. Okay, because there's so much out there. There are so many people who need what we're supplying, and we all supply it in a slightly different way. If I'm not the right person to give you what you need, I can find you the one who is, though. And that's what LinkedIn is all about. That's another reason why I'm on LinkedIn, to find someone who's got a need, find someone who can fulfill that need, and introduce those two people. It's called networking.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know if you're looking at the comments that are coming in. We've got Annette from I think she's in New York. So hi Annette. And so it's Alison Jolliffe. She's in Metro Detroit, so at the top of the country, up by the lakes. That's right, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. Debbie's saying you're doing retirement exactly the way you want to, and many people are grateful for teaching about LinkedIn. Jeff, I teach LinkedIn as well, and I charge for it. But I don't feel you're taking the food out of my mouth, or however you phrase it, because there's 985 million people on LinkedIn. Blimey, there's enough, isn't there?
Yeah,
there's enough
around. Yeah,
and not everybody wants a bouncy guy like me teaching them LinkedIn. DLT was great, yes, wasn't he? And so this is a beautiful comment. Debbie, thank you.
Thank you,
we're watching two very altruistic professionals, and so I get it in the neck from my family, because I do give away an awful lot of stuff, but it just makes me feel good when you give stuff away, when you help people. You know, I think, isn't that our nature? You know, when was the last time that you ever stopped for directions in a town, said, "Oh, excuse me, do you know where such and such is?" Does the person turn around and go, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not telling you"?
Yeah.
Exactly. It's just our nature. Oh yeah, definitely. We go down this way, turn past that shop, and then go past this store, and it's there on your left. Oh, brilliant! Thank you very much indeed. We just want to help. What's the net saying? When I was a kid, I wanted to be a teacher too, and that's why I shifted my business. Plus, you love media.
That's why you're so good at it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's this. Jolliffe again, Alison again. Absolutely. Guide on the side, not sage on the stage. Love it. Love it. Love it.
That one. That's a great one. Yep.
So, how do people find you then, Jeff?
Word of mouth on LinkedIn. There's a lot of what I do. If I'm out and about, if I'm doing a Zoom session, I tell people to just look me up on LinkedIn. Now, I could also tell people to do a Google search for me, right? The problem is that, that's kind of why I've got Jeff Young, hashtag the LinkedIn Guru underneath my name, underneath my picture here. Okay. Because if you go out there and you do a Google search for Jeff Young, okay, Jeff Young is a really common name. Okay. So you're going to find a Jeff Young. If you get lucky, you might actually on the first page of Google results see me and the LinkedIn link to me. But what you're normally going to find is a guy who is the former guitar player for Megadeth. That's not me.
Really? Oh, when I booked you, I thought you were going to get the guitars out.
Go do a Google search for Jeff Young. You're going to see this. He's got a Wikipedia page. He's got much more presence than I do on Google. Okay, but if you go do a Google search for hashtag the LinkedIn Guru, then you're going to get pages and pages and pages of my stuff. So that's an easy way to find me. But on LinkedIn is the right place to look for me. Just find me, follow me. I love it when people follow me. I get, it's not a huge number. I'm not, I'm not Gary Vaynerchuk or, all those kind of guys who have millions of followers. I'm not a LinkedIn influencer, although, I have my little itty bitty little corner of influence, but I have just slightly over 30,000 followers. Okay. And that is really what I'm out here to do, is find as many followers as I can so I can help as many people as I can. But people don't really understand this one, because most people think that the very first thing that you should do in social media or anything else is connect directly with the person. Okay. You and I are a typical, well, in my, a typical illustration of what I would call follow first. Because I found you because of Jillian, okay, because I saw you on her live. I followed you, okay. You realized that, and you ended up following me back because of the interaction that you had on that show. So we followed each other. And then just recently, okay, within the last 5 days, I think it was, okay, you and I actually said, hey, I said, we're not connected.
I know. How did that happen, Jeff?
I know. I felt like I was connected with you, but that's the whole point. If you follow someone and then you interact with them, you engage with them. And I'm a big Star Trek fan. So whenever I think of, LinkedIn, I'm also thinking of Star Trek, because I'm thinking of Jean-Luc Picard going, engage. Okay. Patrick Stewart's one of my favorite actors of all time. And so, Star Trek being one of the things that I base my life on. Okay. It's a part of engaging on LinkedIn. And that's how things like this happen. Because if I hadn't asked you to connect, we wouldn't have said, hey, come on down. Within 5 days, I'm going to have you on my live show. And I'm going, sure. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? What's the best that could happen?
Exactly.
That's the thing, isn't it?
Absolutely. We could get to have a wonderful conversation. We'll try to out Tigger each other.
I think you got a little bit more experience of Tigger than me. Hey.
No. I'm not even going to try. Okay? Because I've seen a couple of your lives and that process, and seen you on lives. And I'm kind of an E, in case, an extrovert, in case you hadn't noticed, because I'm always talking with my hands and that kind of stuff. But I'm not the bouncy guy, and I'm not playing guitar, and I'm not. You can take the Tigger title. How's that?
Oh, bless you. That's an honor. That's an absolute honor. Apparently you're omnipresent.
Yeah, right. Ubiquitous. Yeah.
So how often do you do your training sessions then, Jeff?
I try to make it sure that I'm doing once a week. Okay.
Once a week.
And yeah, I try to hit once a week because that's the 50 or 60 that's my goal. I actually do still have goals, even though I'm retired. Okay. And my goal is to do about 50 or 60 a year. And I've hit that many, many years in a row. But that keeps, but that's only, somebody, you kind of had a little bit of a reaction, Ashley. That was like, wow, once a week?
Yeah.
That seemed like a lot, right?
Yeah.
But it's not. One day out of the week is all I really have to do as far as training is concerned. And then the other 6 days of the week are mine to do with whatever I want. And some of that time gets spent on LinkedIn.
It is. What you've got there is a great business model, right? But I'm just thinking, how can I do that? But so you're not worried about marketing. You're not worried about getting the money in and making sure, it's sort of like, it's free. Turn up, don't turn up. That's it.
and that's comment is really quite telling. I'm everywhere. Well, yeah, I'm not really everywhere, but I am everywhere on LinkedIn. I mean, I have such a diverse and broad network. And honestly, I said the number before, people are not going to realize this, because I don't think you really have to have thousands of connections, first degree connections on LinkedIn to be successful. Because with all those 30,000 plus, followers that I have, only 636, counting you, 636 of them are first degree connections. So I have less than 700 actual first degree connections. And believe me, that's plenty, because my time is spent interacting with those people. Okay, you can't get there.
Yeah, no, exactly. You see these people with thousands and thousands. It's like, well, how do you know them all? I don't.
How do you build relationships with them all? How do you get people like Debbie? Okay, I would never have known it unless it was for LinkedIn. Debbie Weems is one of those people that you talk about the Energizer Bunny. She's the Energizer Bunny. She is traveling all over the place and giving. She outclasses me as far as the number of seminars given a year, believe me. But she's also got a team of people that are helping her do it as well. So I'm just me. So me and 60 and her and 120 is probably an equivalent. Okay.
Yeah, sure. So do you do your sessions online, or do you do them in person?
I used to do them all in person up until I used to do them all way back in time, BC, before COVID.
Yeah.
Before COVID, I did them all. I did them all in person. AD, after disruption, I basically do them all online now, almost all of them. Yeah, and I wish it would get back to more on being in person, because I get a lot more from my audience.
Oh, it's so much nicer being in front of people, isn't it?
When I'm in front of people, I can, that thud that I hear on a Zoom call might be somebody's head hitting the table, but I can't tell.
Yeah.
And I put them to sleep.
I dread to think how that must feel if you're actually doing something and they are falling asleep the other end. It's but at least you don't know. Debbie, he is a lovely, generous guy, and it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. That 15 minutes has just flown by. We're going to have to get you back sometime next year, Jeff. It's been absolutely delightful to meet you. And thanks for coming on at very short notice. I've got one more question for you, but before that, I just want to introduce my guest next week. So we're going. So this time we've gone back in time to your 12:30, and I'm not sure what time it is in India, but I've got the lovely. I've got the lovely Manmeet who's coming on to talk about content, branding, and lead generation, and a couple of other things as well. So looking forward to having a chat with her.
That'll be Jeff, about the same amount of time ahead of you as behind.
Yeah. So my question to you, Jeff, what advice would you give your 16-year-old self?
I think it would be. It would actually be a quote from Mark Twain. Okay. The advice I would give is that the quote from Mark Twain is, there are two important days in your life. The day that you were born is the first one. And the second one is the day you figure out why you were born. And so I would tell my 16-year-old self, figure out why sooner. Okay. Because that way you can be doing it. Okay. For the rest of your life. It took me 35 years after that to get to what I wanted to be when I grew up. That would be the advice I'd give. Find out your why as soon as possible and then go there.
Yeah, no, I love that. That is a great advice. Jeff, thank you so much for being on my show. Thank you for bringing all of your lovely friends from across the pond as well. I'm here every morning at 8:30 or 7:30, depending on where the clocks are. So if you want to come and join me again, please do. If you fancy being on the show, I love talking to our friends across the pond. So.
I was absolutely chuffed. And I have to say that word because now the closed captions are going to think we swore.
Yeah.
The closed captions think chuffed is a swear word. But I was absolutely tough to be here. Thank you so much, Ashley. And you got to be what you wanted to be. You're a morning.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the thing. So it does happen in the end. So anyway, thank you very much, Jeff. Thank you to all your lovely comments today. And was it the peace sign that you have to do to get the balloons? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Cheerio, everybody.
That's my piece.
You get out what you put in. Never gonna lose, never gonna win.